This is Radio Paul, and today I'd like to do a response to a video that was put up by Aaron Saxton, reference Call to Arms. Now, I would like to first say to Aaron, I absolutely commend you on your courage. There's no question that you have a lot of courage. I also want to commend you on your willingness to fight. That is something that a lot of people who've left the organization are not willing to do, and I think everybody out there should be patting you on the back for that. I do want to talk about what I see, though, are some flaws in some of your discussions. And I don't, anytime someone puts out a statement about a call to arms or the level of involvement that you are discussing, it's important to weigh the balances of this and to offer counterpoints. Remember, it took you 20 years to get out of the cult of Scientology. You had to go through a process of understanding what was going on and what you needed to ultimately do. And it sounds like you're still going through that process now. And you need to also recall that, even before you spoke out, even before you got into Scientology, there were people out there fighting against it. There are Jerry Armstrongs, Bob Mentons, Mark Bunkers, and a lot of other people going back even before that who have answered the call to arms. And we're doing what we can do with what we got. I don't think you're going to find one person is going to step forward from the abyss to run a website, or one person is going to step forward and set up a fund. It's typically not how things like this are done. And just a little bit of background on myself is I've protested many issues for many years, anti-war, etc. I've been a part of different committees. So protesting and direct action is nothing new to me. All the points you make are good ones, Aaron, and I think it's just a question of how to approach each of those issues. One thing you want to keep in mind is that the collective is indestructible as to where the individual is attackable. And if we give too much importance to an individual act, the cult of Scientology can zero in on that and attack it. And we certainly want to avoid that. If you give them a central location or a central organization to go after, they'll go after it. They always have. They always have. And that's one of the reasons why they have been so unsuccessful in defeating Anonymous, is because there isn't an individual to attack. Doing what we do is having an effect. There's no question about that. And Aaron, it's one of these things, as I've said, that it's taken a long time to get where we are. It's taken you a long time to get where you are. Don't worry. That sleeping bear will awake. Various government institutions are going to, if we continue doing what we do, wake up, smell the coffee, and go after the cult. In fact, they are. France, it looks like Australia is definitely looking in that direction. The United States in the past has gone after the cult, and doing what we do will ultimately, I believe, have the United States government going after them again. One of the things I want to do, I want to criticize one of the things you talked about, and then I want to, I want to say criticize it, I mean to not jump on board with it. The other thing I want to do is talk about one of the things I totally agree with you wholeheartedly on. The internet. You're not going to find law enforcement and is going to go to a central website and pull information from it as evidence. They have to go based on investigations. If it's out there on the web and it's a central location on the web, it does not have any credibility to law enforcement unless they can validate it as fact. So I don't think that a central website is going to help law enforcement. I do like the idea that there are websites all over the internet. First of all, Scientology can't track them down fast enough, and that is a defeat against them. The other thing is there are individual flavors, individual opinions at work here. And individuals might reject a central, like whatever the central flavor is of a particular website. They might not want to protest against Scientology. They don't see it as a threat. But an individual might click with the way a particular person puts their own website up. I think what a good idea, Aaron, would be is if there was a central links location where people can link to all the known anonymous and anti-Scientology websites. That's a noteworthy thing to do. The one thing that I really think that you hit the nail on the head with is supporting Sea Orgers to get out, and that is huge. They do need to know it's safe, and I think if you noticed at the last protest I was at with Ann and Sparrow, we were telling these guys that the freeloader's debt is not enforceable. They cannot legally block your exit if you're trying to leave. That's kidnapping. Um, these things need to be told to them at protests, but you're absolutely right. There does need to be a better support mechanism for getting people out and letting them know that there is a support element out there for them when they leave. Now, right now, 866XC.org is a number that they can call. And I'm thinking what might be appropriate here is a national or international conference. Um, Hold it in New York City, hold it in D.C., hold it wherever, where we can have guest speakers come to discuss what to do about beefing up, getting Sea Orgers out of the organization. Aaron, they're hemorrhaging right now. They're not doing well. I don't think that a death blow is going to happen, though. I don't think it's going to be a quick, easy strike and the deck of cards will collapse. You know how long it took you to come to the realization that you came to. And it sounds like you're still going through an evolutionary process. So, as I said in one of my other videos, as long as you got 10 people willing to fork their life savings over, you have a cult. And I definitely think that focusing on the Sea Org is the way to go. I agree with you. I also think that enlightening the celebrities is another thing that we need to be looking at as a group of individuals, because getting them focused and getting them educated and them speaking out, like Paul Haggis, does as much, if not more, damage to Scientology than in an individual Sea Orger. However, it is that individual Sea Orger that we care about, that we want to get out, whose life we want to help get back on track. So these are really good points you bring up, Aaron. I'm just not so sure that there are going to be quick or easy answers to them. I'm still thinking we need to maybe look at some type of national conference, international conference, and focus on, as you said, getting a support element out there. I thank everyone for listening to this video. I know it was kind of circular and went on for a little while, but again, Aaron put this out there. We have to think upon it, put our counter opinions, our support into it, and I encourage everybody to give feedback and keep this ball rolling.